looks like we are good to go. Guys, what is going on? Welcome to episode 37 of Streamline Podcast. Now, normally when I do movie reviews, I either do a break of the base with all of us together talking about it, or I just do it as a movie review. Try to cut it down to about 5 minutes, but the movie was epic enough. I said, instead of me making a movie review and then the spoiler review, and I'll just go ahead and just make a 20-minute discussion about it. It is just going to be me, and we will definitely come back with another with a break of the base concerning this. Now, I have to apologize for not posting the videos yesterday because yesterday was my birthday. So I was chilling out, I was having a good time, I was enjoying myself, and I was enjoying my birthday. I just turned 31, and I feel it. And look what Madam B got me for my birthday. So it's my Pennywise shirt. It's awesome. And I said I'd go ahead and wear it for this, and I might actually make a video. I need to make a video about it. But anyways, without further ado, we're going to be talking about the Avengers Infinity War movie. Now, for those who've been keeping up with the series, most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been revolving around these things called the Infinity Stones, which do have the potential to change reality and to change the universe. Change the universe as a whole. And in this movie, the ultimate bad guy, Thanos, games that he's tired of hiring these henchmen and stuff. He's going to retrieve these Infinity Stones. Have you ever seen the Tesseract that was in the first Avengers movie, as well as Captain America Civil War, that red energy stuff that was in Thor the Dark World, that purple crystal thing that was in Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, those are the Infinity Stones, as well as the thing that got put in the Vision's head. That's an Infinity Stone as well. So Thanos is like he's not playing anymore. So he's gone to retrieve the Infinity Stones, and it's up to the combined forces of Asgard, as well as the Avengers, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just everybody is banding together to stop this guy and his quest to pretty much annihilate half of the people in the universe. And I gotta say, this has got to be one of the most powerfully written and told stories of any Marvel movie, because it just has so much depth to it. Thumbs up to Josh Brolin for the whole casting of Thanos. Thumbs up. He does a fantastic job. Dude is freaking awesome. He like, they could have not have cast that role. They could not have just cast that any more perfect than what they did. But as far as the story is just freaking awesome. Here you do have all of these different forces and alliances being made to stop this threat, this overwhelming threat. And I love how, like, the story does involve all of these people, and it feels very balanced. And I like the fact that also that is not just one group that's having to deal with this situation. It's like a mixture of groups the entire time. You have Thor, who ends up meeting up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they end up splitting up, so that you have some of Thor. You have Thor, Groot, and Rocket going one way, and then you have the rest of the group end up meeting up with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and then you got the forces of Wakanda with some of the Avengers. And I love the fact that that movie keeps mixing it up. The magical forces of Doctor Strange end up teaming up with Tony Stark and Spider-Man. So the movie does a great job of not making making the various stories interact with each other. And I think it's absolutely great. But the biggest story that is just probably the most pronounced of the movie is actually Thanos' story. This movie feels more about his character and the development of his character and the how and the why. And like one of the best stories, the most moving stories, in my opinion, is the story of Thanos and Gamora's story, their past, how they feel about each other. And I think that it is great. And it's also a great developing moment for the character of Thanos. And yes, the movie has a large ensemble. I cannot remember how many. I think they said it was like 50 characters at one point. But basically, almost everybody that's been put into the movies that's been set up for this. Now, the only character I did not see that I really wanted to see was Valkyrie. And I wonder if they're going to explain that maybe she got captured or something, or maybe she escaped during the initial attack of Thanos' forces on the Asgardians. And also kind of like what happened to the Asgardians. Did half of them get killed, or did they all get killed? So there is a question about that. But as far as the characters are concerned, I think they did a fantastic job with the characters as well, because every character felt important, actually. Every character had a great moment. Every character had something tying them to the story, and it made for a great moment. Well, especially with the balancing of the characters. Like, all the characters did something that was pretty cool. One character that has never done anything cool and mostly gets his ass kicked was War Machine. He did some pretty cool moments during the action sequences, as well as the Falcon. He was pretty good. I loved the dialogue between the characters too, especially you know, these characters in the cinematic universe haven't met before, so there's a bit of tension with the dialogue, such as with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, and then it kind of builds on them to learn how to work as a team. And I think that was done really well, and and that's why I would give it to the writing and the director, that they were able to shift all of these characters from their comfort zones into unknown territory, but also make it very effective when it comes to the sequences involving other characters that they never interacted with before. I really liked the Groot and the Rocket and Thor moments too. I found them to be surprisingly moving at moments, and it's because you see Thor. And Thor's like an absolute badass. He's a great character. He's probably one of my favorites from the cinematic universe, and I like that he's having to, you know, Dudley kept calling a Rocket a rabbit. So I like that. I like that. You have the moment where, you know, Star-Lord is kind of getting jealous of Thor, because Thor's physique and everything is like muscles upon muscles upon muscles, and it's kind of attracting Gamora's character. And you even get a bit of you get the result of Chris Pratt and kind of I would say Chris Pratt, Star-Lord and Gamora's character, because you see that they have this relationship, and I love that it didn't explore it, but you do get to see it, and it does give you enough to like, okay, yes, these two actually do have feelings for each other, and it was very moving moments. But the actual story, if you want to go with just basically two stories. One story is Thanos trying to collect these Infinity Stones, and the other story is basically everybody else trying to stop him from doing it. But as I've said, and in the fact that he's doing this, is you telling a story about him, and it's a great story. I will admit there are a lot of moving moments in this movie. Some moments where it was like, man, that's messed up. Can't believe that happened. Or moments where it's like, you get the feels, because honestly, people die in this movie. People die, and like I said, this is going to be one of those videos where it's going to be a mixture of the spoiler and the regular. I'm just going to go ahead and just say it. One of the most moving deaths in the movie, and I'm just going to go say it, is Gamora's death, where Thanos has to get the spiritual Infinity Stone, and he has to sacrifice the life of someone he loves. And the entire time in which it does delve into their relationship, you see Gamora's kind of antagonizing them, and then she finds out slowly that he actually does love her. And you can, there's even a moment where you can tell, despite everything, she loves him, and he ends up sacrificing her. And I think that was a great deeply effective, just emotional moment because I like Gamora's character, and it's not just the fact that she dies; it's the fact that it affects him too. So it was a great moment. That even Spider-Man unfortunately passes away, and a lot of people don't like the ending because half everybody dies or is erased or whatever it is, and like Spider-Man's moment, he dies or is erased, and I think it's really for him, like it's for his character. It's more of a shock because he's a kid. Everybody else are adults and stuff, but he's actually a kid. So I like the movie does delve into some very emotional depths. It was even one point where you think Tony Stark is dead, and you see he's just giving it his all against this Titan, and he just. And this is like one of those moments. If you don't like Tony Stark, you got to give it to him. He went all out to try, and I love that about his character in this movie because he goes all out. And there's even this moment where Thanos is talking to him, even saying, "You earn my respect." And because despite him kicking his ass, he's still trying. So I love that about the story and about the characters, the cast. Fantastic performances are just absolutely everybody brings their A game. They do a fantastic freaking job, and I love the casting, the casting. They are just, and again, I have to say, Josh Brolin, fantastic as Thanos. One of the best casts. Like there are some people that you cast that do a great job as the characters that they go, but at this point, I think Josh Brolin pretty much defines the character of Thanos. So I think he's up there on that list with Heath Ledger as the Joker, and Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like Josh Brolin has hit that. Hell, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine as well. He's definitely hit that mark. So it's the cast. Fantastic job all around. I love the look of the movie, the look and feel of it. We get some great freaking locations when it comes to either just like when we're returning to older locations from previous movies, such as like the Nowhere. I think we did get a glimpse. No, we didn't get a glimpse of Xandar or anything like that. But like of Wakanda as well. Fantastic looking locations and set pieces and things like that. As well as new locations like Titan, the planet that Thanos is from. And so a couple other locations like where he went and got the spiritual song. So there is a lot of great, the look and feel of the characters look on point. The Spider-Man's new suit, the Iron Spider, Scarlet Spider, freaking fantastic. I didn't think they could pull off the whole mechanical arm thing, but they did a freaking great job with that. Robert Downey Jr. with the nanite suit. Now I kind of wish they kind of hold back on the whole nanite suit thing because I didn't really like it in Black Panther 2. I feel like it's a little too advanced, but it looked really good. It looked really cool. The functions of the technology looked freaking awesome. Also, another issue I kind of had with the design was kind of Thor's design when he came back and he had the suit. And I've never really too much cared for his outfits because I mean, even though he is pretty cool, but like a lot of his outfits, I feel like they could have done a little bit better with. I mean, made it a little bit more plausible, but for the most part, it looks good. I love the way the movie is straight up shot, especially the action sequences, which are freaking awesome, badass, intense, well shot. Just there's like all of them are just have a weight to them, and I think this is probably some of the best action sequences, especially the war in Wakanda, that little battle in Wakanda, freaking awesome. And there's one moment I have to say that was freaking awesome. Black Panther and Captain America did it. When everybody's charging into battle at Wakanda, you see the shot, like one of the best shots is you see all of these Wakandans and people running, and then you see Captain America just do right past everybody, and it shows how fast he can run. I was like, that's badass. And he catches up to Black Panther, and they do this like jumping over the river and then into like badass. The way the movie just sounds freaking awesome. Some of the best soundtrack, musicals, themes from the previous movies are brought back, as well as some new ones, and it just gives the film a great and emotional weight to, especially during some of these more emotional moments, which I thought, again, were done fantastic. The way they just bring so much to the movie. Now, I will say there's a great balance of elements in the movie as well. Dramatic elements, action elements, intense elements, as well as a lot of humorous ones. I gotta give it to the MCU. They do manage to make great moments in movies and balance them out with humor and drama. They do a really good job. For those who don't know, yes, Loki even gets a moment in the movie before he dies, and then Heimdall gets a moment in the movie before he dies, and just the overall writing, I think, was done really well, done exceptionally well. But perhaps the most standout element of the movie, I think, is the dialogue. I love the dialogue. Thanos' dialogue is just freaking awesome, and I love that he isn't just a tyrant. He has personality, and I love even when he's fighting people, even when he does something evil, does something bad, because Thanos is one of those bad guys that he isn't just evil. He has a reason for the things that he's doing. There's a moment where he's talking, like his moments that he has with Gamora. They are meaningful moments. His moments that he had with Doctor Strange, meaningful. The moments that he has with Tony Stark, meaningful. There is even one moment where he ends up killing Vision, and he's having this moment with the Scarlet Witch. It was meaningful, and I love the dialogue. The movie was well written. Now, there is an element that they did not explore, which they could have explored, and hopefully they do explore a little bit in the next Avengers movie. In the movie, they showed the romance between Gamora and Star-Lord. They showed the romance between Vision and Scarlet Witch. I won't say Wanda. Between Vision and Wanda. And they kind of touch upon the romance between Natasha and Bruce. And I kind of wanted them to kind of flesh that out a little bit. Maybe have a moment where Scarlet Witch is not Scarlet Witch. Natasha's character gets put in some kind of peril, and Bruce has to step in to kind of say, like, I would have loved them to flesh out that a little bit more. So, but hopefully, maybe they'll do it in the next film. I did like the writing. I thought the pacing was good. It did not feel like it slowed down. It was always something popping off. But it is just a great movie all around. And I never cared about Thanos in any of the comic book lore, any of the TV shows, anything like that. But he's a badass. They definitely... And they also did a great job with making the Infinity Stones, like, cool. Like it wasn't like just a one... Like, especially with the fighting, the way Thanos used it in battles and stuff. Like when he was fighting Doctor Strange, like that was freaking cool. What was it? Doctor Strange sent that little prison lock thing that like locks you in like a glass prison or dimensional prison, and then Thanos took you can see the reality. I think the reality stone lit up, and he punched it and destroyed it like that. And it made the combat very diverse. Like nothing they threw at him, he couldn't take. He couldn't take, and I thought it was really good in terms of that too. But as I was saying earlier, the best aspect of this movie is just how well balanced it is. Whether it's the action sequences, whether it's the stories, whether it's the characters, everything about this movie show that they taking just a lot of really good care. Nobody, outside of Thanos, had like too much screen time. Nobody overshadowed the other. Like everybody had their great moments in the movie. But there was something else I wanted to say. I can't remember what it was. And still, like I said, the whole Wakanda battle thing was freaking awesome. absolutely badass. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. The Black Order, freaking some of the best villains I've ever seen in a movie. Usually you have bad guys with henchmen that are pretty forgettable. These henchmen weren't forgettable. They were awesome. They had some of the best moments in the movie as well. There's the smart telekinetic guy. There's the woman and her husband that looks like an orc. And then you got this really huge dude. I can't remember any of their names, which I don't think in the movie they actually said their names, but I did look it up. But anyways, they were freaking awesome, especially how strong they were. There's one great moment where the telekinetic guy is fighting Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. There's a great moment where Wanda and Vision having to fight the woman and her husband, the orc guy. You know, so they were just as badass. I mean, not as badass as Thanos, but they were pretty badass too. So, like, and also I had to say, I was kind of disappointed about the Hulk, but I understand why the Hulk wasn't put into the movie. There's one sequence at the beginning of the movie where the Hulk fights Thanos. It was pretty intense, pretty badass, and it was pretty short-lived because after Hulk got his couple of licks in, Thanos set his ass on fire. Blah, 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 blah. That's the first time the Hulk has gotten I'm just going to say ass whooping like that in the MCU. Yes, he fought Thor, and Thor was beating him, but they were kind of evenly matched, so it was pretty cool. It was cool, but no, after Hulk got his couple of licks in on Thanos came back and whooped his ass. So don't expect to see Hulk in the movie because he was scared. But I'm hoping they try to attempt to do some type of a rematch later on in Avengers 4. But this movie does introduce a lot, and it does cut off a lot. Who is going to die, who's going to stay dead, who's going to come back. And there is a bit of a little Easter egg at the ending that signifies Captain Marvel being in the next Avengers movie. So there is that. And I guess that is end of my spoiler review. I wish I could get into a little bit more discussion about it, but I'm going to come back with a break of the base. And again, guys, sorry for no video uploads yesterday. I was trying to enjoy my birthday. So with all the work that I do on YouTube and website and at these jobs and everything, it just can be a bit overwhelming. But in the comment section below, guys, let me know what you think about Avengers Infinity War. This is one of the few movies, I will admit, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I greatly enjoyed this movie. And it's no wonder that this so far has been the highest gross comic book movie of all time. I think it just hit it a few days ago or yesterday. No wonder. Go out and watch it. I want to go watch it again. If I can, I'm going to make plans to go watch this movie again. And best believe I will be getting it on Blu-ray. But anyways, guys, comment section below. Let me know what you thought about Avengers Infinity War. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Who had the best moments? Your favorite characters? The best story? What did you think about Thanos and the Black Order? And what did you think about the ending? Be sure to stay tuned, guys, for more videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. And we'll catch you guys later. Peace on out.